If he's a man, he'd probably love to have some sex. I'm just saying, that's just for a lot of guys, right? But that doesn't mean that every guy only wants you for sex. The thing is, how do you know? How can you tell the difference between the guy who's genuine and the guy who only wants you to be intimate with him? Well, I'm going to break that down for you. My name is Stephan, aka Stephan Speaks, back with another relationship and dating advice video for women. Again, we're going to be talking about the 7 signs he only wants to have sex with you. Before we begin, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, click that notification button, and leave your comments below. What do you think are some signs that he only wants to have sex with you? Now, listen, I know this can be a very frustrating dynamic for a lot of women. And of course, there may be some of you who say, well, that's what you want right now. And as a grown woman, if that's what you want from that guy and you guys are on the same page, that is your choice. I'm not saying I'm condoning it or supporting it. I'm saying you're grown, make your own decisions. But the reality is that many of you have found yourself in situations where you were hoping for more, and maybe that guy even tried to say or claim he wanted more, but it turned out all he wanted was to sleep with you. So I'm going to give you the signs to look out for. And as always, address the signs. I know some things you might be like, you know what, there's nothing to address. Just cut his behind off, end the story. And I get that. And I'm not saying I don't understand or embrace that to a certain extent. But I think it is best to be consistent with my message by saying always address the issue. Because there can be rare situations where there's just a misunderstanding, all right? And things can be cleared up. But let's get to it. Sign number 1, he only wants to have sex with you. He doesn't take you anywhere. Now, I know of tons of scenarios where women meet men, exchange numbers, and at the end of the day, they never go on a date. It's either come to his house or he goes to her house. Hell, I even know some situations where the only place they meet is at the hotel. All right, true story. And so that's a clear sign this man pretty much just wants to have sex with you. It's extremely rare. Again, it can happen. It can happen where there's just a guy who's not big on going out, and if you allow him to get away with not taking you out, he may not and still actually want to spend time with you and like you. But most cases, if he's not making any effort to take you anywhere, he just wants to have sex with you. And so again, this is one of those things where you've got to talk about it. If you notice that when you bring up going out, that he's always making excuses, shutting it down. And this is what happens to a lot of women, where he may agree at first, oh yeah, okay, we're going to go out next week, or we're going to do this. And it's every single time there's an excuse and a cancellation. Every single time there has to be a rescheduling. And ultimately, weeks are passing and this man has still yet to take you out. Well, yes, that is a clear sign. And again, just so you understand on a deeper level why, is because, one, he's not really trying to be seen with you. And he may not be trying to be seen with you because he doesn't want, if he's in a relationship, God forbid, he doesn't want nobody to find out and get back to his main woman, all right? He may simply not want the world to see him with you because, this sounds so bad, but this is just the honest truth. Sometimes he's not proud of dealing with you. Lord, forgive me for even saying that, but I can't just lie to you. There are some situations like that. I don't want you to jump to that conclusion, but does it happen? It does happen. When the guy's trying to hide you to that extent, that can be the case, okay? And ultimately, he's not trying to put that kind of an effort. The reality is that going out requires effort. And I will say, you have to understand that men in general typically aren't as about going out as women are, which is why, like, I've noticed in various cities and places where you go out to festivals and things like that, you'll tend to see more women there. Women love to go out. They'll go to brunch, they go to festivals, they go to art, they go to all these different things. And a lot of guys like staying home, watching sports, chilling, watching TV, whatever the case may be. So there's already this thing that leads to men staying home more often than the woman. But again, when he really likes a woman, when he's serious about her, he's at least willing to. He's willing to. If you want to get out some more, he's at least willing to try to get out some more. So the fact that he's not even trying, yeah, bad sign, definitely looking like he just wants to have sex with you. Number 2 on the list is he won't clearly state his intentions. So the unfortunate reality is that it's very difficult for the average man to come out and say, I just want to have sex with you. I know a lot of y'all say, why can't men just tell us? Maybe if we want the same thing, then we can be cool and do it. Listen, if men really thought that line worked, they would use it, all right? But the fact is, it does not work in their favor in most cases. So men shy away from being that blunt and straightforward about just wanting to have sex. Now, they don't, in a lot of cases, they don't want to shoot themselves in the foot by saying the complete opposite, which is, oh yeah, I want a relationship and I'm looking for marriage, because now you're going to hold him to a higher standard of what's expected in this potential relationship. So the easiest way to kind of dodge those expectations and to keep it closer to just let's just have sex and have fun is to give no intentions whatsoever. Or to use the let's go with the flow, or why do we need to define anything? Let's just enjoy ourselves. All these vague ways of answering the question rather than just saying exactly what his intentions are. And so that has become the norm for a lot of people, all right? And again, I know some people might argue, well, what if they, you really don't know, because some women out there have said the same thing. Well, let's just go with the flow. But I would argue, even if you can say you said that as a woman and it didn't mean you only wanted to have sex with the man, typically, if that's what you said to the man, you were not convinced that you wanted a relationship with him. Or at the very least, you probably did not see the potential with him at that time. So again, even if we want to make the argument that it doesn't automatically mean he just wants to have sex, because I do think that's possible. It is possible that the man may want to hang out. There are some men, believe it or not, who just wants to enjoy a woman's company. All right. He may just want to talk, hang out, and isn't requiring sex. That is possible. So I think worst case scenario, we can say that, or another scenario is, yes, we can say that he may not see a potential in a serious relationship, but again, he doesn't want to say that flat out, because that probably leads to not even being able to hang out with you and chill with you. But to the main point, listen, if he can't give you any of his intentions, it's very probable that sex is all he's looking for out of this situation with you. Let's get to number 3. Number 3, actually, before I give you number 3, real quick plug. Actually, wrong book. I'm so sorry. Get your copy of He's Lying Sis, such a perfect book for this topic, right? Another best-selling book of mine is doing extremely well. It's not about bashing men, but it is about breaking down scenarios that women are going through where there is a lot of deception sometimes. It kind of helps clear that up, helps you tap into your intuition, maybe gives you that kick in the pants you needed. But either way, get your copy. Click in the link in the description or in the comment section. You're going to love it. So number 3, the third sign that he only wants to have sex with you. He cancels whenever you're on your period. So listen, bottom line is this. If a man is just trying to have sexual relations, then he's not trying to hang out with you when sex is not on the table. And it's not even just he cancels when you're on your period, because some of y'all sneaky ones, well, let me not say sneaky. That's wrong for me to say that. Some of y'all did not warn him in advance that you were on your period. Not that you have to announce you're on your period, because, of course, if the assumption is you're trying to have a serious relationship, why would you be thinking you have to say that? But the point is, sometimes it's not that he got to cancel because he knew you were on your period. It's that after you told him and he was already in your presence, he's quick to leave. Or he even catches an attitude with you, all right? These are all bad signs. So cancellation, catching an attitude, quick to leave after you do let him know, all right? This is all signs of chances are he just wants to have sex, and therefore his willingness to hang out with you outside of sex being on the table is just not there. Plain and simple. And again, that guy, he does not want to, his time is, he does not want to give you time outside of sexual relations. You know what I'm saying? Other than the preliminary, little chit chat here and there. All right, let's get to the room. Let's do it. Boom. And then he's gone. All right. So yes, if he always cancels on your period, that is a huge sign. Now, let me just say this because it's popping in my head. I don't want you to try to make up fake moments that you have your period to test them in. All right? I just don't believe in the playing games like that and lying to test. I understand the temptation. All right? I can see why you may want to try it to see how he reacts. But please, if you're going to say you're on your period, let you actually be on your period. Always remain honest and truthful. And my thing is this. A man who only wants to have sex with you, it's going to show in various ways. And we're going to continue to talk about some of the other signs, but you're going to see it in more ways than one. So you don't have to play games in order to expose if he just wants to have sex with you. So let's get to number 4. And number 4 is this conversation is always sexual. All right. So again, men who are only looking for sex don't really care to delve into deep emotional discussions and trying to figure out all your life story and all these different things. For what? It's about getting into the bedroom. And so not only is he not trying to have those types of conversations, again, he will tend to highlight sexual things when you do talk. Or he will send you the infamous penis picture. All right? You will get one of those texts because he's giving you the penis picture is like the Batman signal, all right? When he shines that, he's telling you he's open for business, he knows what's up, or he's trying to tell you that this is what's up with him, and either you like it or you don't. Again, not saying I condone it or that men should be doing it, I'm just talking about what happens. And so the reality is that he will always lean to the sexual. When you guys have conversation, even maybe when you attempt to have deeper conversation with him, he will always find a way to bring it back to sex. And so you got to pay attention to that. Now listen, there's nothing wrong with flirting, all right, every so often. And if you as a woman have introduced sex into the conversation, then don't penalize him because now he's riding your wave, so to speak. If you started that train moving, that's a different story. But when you notice that even when you're trying to have normal conversation, this man keeps interjecting sexual things, then yes, that's clearly telling you that he is just interested in that. And you've got to say, all right, well, you know what? We don't do that here. And that's a great way to kind of check the situation, is to simply don't just jump to being offended when he does it. Address it. As I said in the very beginning, you want to address these issues before you just cut people off. Because again, some men don't know how to handle themselves properly. I'm not giving that as a cop-out, but that is a reality for some guys. And I think that there are situations where if you said to him, listen, you seem to always want to talk about sex. If you are interested in me, and you're interested in anything serious, we need to be able to talk about other things. If he is genuine, then he'll respect that, and then you'll see a change in his discussions and what he wants to talk about. If he's not, he'll either dismiss it, catch an attitude, or next time you guys talk, he's still doing the same thing. So again, his desire to continue to talk about sexual things or send you sexual things is definitely a sign he just wants to have sex with you. Another sign, number 5. Number 5 on the list that he only wants to have sex with you is that he never wants to spend the night. Now, this one is kind of one that you won't see until probably after you've had sex. So let's just say you've decided to engage in sexual relations with this man, whether you're thinking it's moving towards something serious or whatever. When you see that this man never wants to hang out past having sex, so you guys have sex, and if it's at your house, he's gone after that. Or you come over to his house, you have sex, and he tells you to get the hell on out. Maybe not in those exact words, all right? But he pretty much pushes you out the door. This is another sign of he just wants to have sex with you, because men who genuinely like you, who are serious about you, don't mind hanging out. Don't mind being in your presence beyond sex. But again, the man who only cares about that, he's not trying to be bothered with anything other than having you in those sexual moments, and that's it. So it's another sign to pay attention to if you have crossed that line of having sex. Now, it's very different if you guys aren't having sex and he never wants to spend the night. This is different because it may be he's trying to control himself or not put himself in temptation's way. So if it has been discussed that you guys aren't having sex or you're not ready for sex, and he never wants to spend the night or have you spend the night with him, then don't assume that's a bad thing. I've seen some women, quick story I have to give. Like I remember one guy who was abstinent, all right? Meets a woman, she's abstinent too. And after a few weeks of dating, she was very mad at him because she felt like he was never affectionate, all right? And he was like, what do you want me to do? I'm trying to not have sex. If I touch you, rub up on you, if I get intimate with you in other ways, I can't handle that. So his even though this is different than not spending the night, it kind of goes together in the sense that the man who's trying to respect that boundary and also make sure he controls himself is not going to want to put himself in certain predicaments. So be mindful of that. If sex is off the table, then him not spending the night isn't a red flag. But if you guys have crossed the line of having sex and this man, again, never spends the night or has you spend the night, then yeah, chances are he just wants you for sex. So now moving on to number 6. And number 6 is he only wants you at his convenience. Or let me rephrase that. He is only available when it's convenient to him. So I've seen tons of situations where, once again, the woman is dealing with a man who never really makes time for her, never tries to be flexible with his schedule, never tries to adjust anything at her convenience. It's always about him. Now, I will say, is it possible for a guy, and I use the word possible very loosely, is it possible for a guy to not be viewing a woman as just sex, yet still not understand the necessity for being flexible and making some adjustments for her? That is possible, all right? But again, and this is why we never take one sign as the end-all, be-all. You evaluate the overall picture, because if he's doing everything else right, but then he struggles in this area, then we can recognize it as a genuine struggle. And we can say, all right, maybe he doesn't understand. Some guys are workaholics. Some guys don't have balance in their life to where they know how to schedule making time for work. Maybe they already have kids or whatever, and then making time for you. That is possible, and them not being just about having sex with you. And again, you'll see that in the overall picture. But outside of that, when there are multiple signs, and then we add on top of that, that he only is available to you at his convenience, then yeah, that's another sign of he just wants to have sex. Because if you notice the theme with a lot of these signs is that it's always about what's convenient to him, and it's about minimizing time outside of the sexual relations. Again, that guy's not trying to spend a bunch of time with you, whether that be physically or over the phone. He's not trying to waste time engaging in all these other activities, because to him it is a waste of time, because all he sees as a benefit here is sex. And so he's trying to, at best, limit the time to that. He might, in some cases, be willing to go to dinner and then sex, all right? But again, he ain't trying to go too far past that. Spending all day with you, all that kind of stuff, is just not as likely. So this is another sign to definitely be mindful of. But again, consider, as I said earlier, some men struggle in that area, but a man who genuinely is struggling is going to show you good things in other areas, not be consistent with the bad signs I've been listing today. And now number 7, and let me just say, I have a bonus one I have to mention, all right? But number 7 on the list of signs he only wants to have sex with you, he does not let you into his world. So what I mean by that is, you're not meeting people he knows. He doesn't tell you what's really going on with him. You don't really know anything about this man, all right? And that's because that's the way he designed it. He's trying to limit letting you too far in, because a lot of men understand that if the goal is to avoid emotional investment on both sides, you know, his desire to not invest in you emotionally, and he has no willingness to at all, but also making sure that, or limiting the chances of you getting too caught up in him, Well, he has to create that barrier that says, I'm not letting you too deep in. Because if I introduce you to family, friends, if I tell you all about myself, my dreams and all this, that will convey to a lot of women that he's interested in that way. And so a lot of men who are at least not trying to make this too messy, and some of you might be saying, well, it's already messy, but the point is, he's not trying to throw mixed signals, all right? He is going to separate his world from you. And he's going to keep you outside of that. So remember I mentioned earlier where there's some situations where the man only meets the woman at the hotel room, all right? And so, yeah, like it's consistent with the other signs. Only meets at the hotel room, doesn't take her anywhere, damn sure not letting him into her world in any kind of way. You're seeing multiple signs that say, hey, this is just a sexual relationship, all right? And, this may all sound despicable, and I'm not saying that some of this isn't, but this is what happens, and you have to be aware of these things because, again, I see so many women get more caught up in their desire for the man and what they're hoping will come of this rather than paying attention to how he's treating you. Like I have a video on my page, you check it out. It says how he treats you is how he feels about you. And so a lot of women, they are blinded by their desire for the man and not seeing what his actions, behavior, his treatment is conveying to you about his true desire. And so you have to be mindful of this if you're trying to avoid the guy who only wants to have sex with you. Now, I said there's going to be a bonus, so here's the bonus. The bonus is he never commits. Plain and simple, this man who only wants to have sex, and this kind of goes hand in hand with the not stating his intentions. He's not trying to be committed to you because in a lot of cases, not all, but in a lot of cases, if he only wants to have sex, that means he's open to having sex with other people. I'm not saying that there aren't men out there, not that you guys may view this as a good thing, but I'm not saying there aren't men out there who will find a woman that they only want for sex and actually be okay only having sex with her. That does exist, all right? I'm just explaining that it does exist. Not saying it's a great thing. It just does exist. However, in a lot of cases, when a man is only looking for sex from a woman, that means he wants his options to be open to have sex with other women too. And so with that, the last thing he's trying to do is be committed to you in a relationship. He's not trying to lock himself in. And so he's not going to want to add any kind of titles to the relationship because now that holds him to a higher standard. And that's the whole thing. And here's something to also be mindful of because it can get tricky. So in the book, He's Lying Sis, let me actually show it to you one more time. And it's serious talk here. There's a scenario that I lay out about, he says he doesn't want a girlfriend, but he acts like your boyfriend, all right? And so, though I mentioned all these signs that include basically men not being at your convenience, making it all about them, shutting you out their world, all these things, right? There are scenarios where a man will treat you like you're his girlfriend, will do all the lovey-dovey stuff, be all sweet, right? But he still does not want to be committed to you. And ultimately, though he may not only want to have sex with you, because yes, he may like to enjoy you in that girlfriend dynamic, he is unwilling to fully commit to you. And to be honest with you, I would argue that's an even worse situation than the guy who just wants to shut you out of his world and have sex. I'm not saying it's either one is good. I'm just saying it's worse because it sends such a huge mixed signal. It's so much easier to get caught up, confused, get your feelings hurt when he's treating you in all these nice ways, but telling you over and over, I don't want a girlfriend. I don't want a relationship. So you got to be honest with yourself about what you want. What are you okay with? As I said in the very beginning, if you want to tell me that you're okay with the sexual relationship, that is your decision as a grown adult. But if you know you don't want that and you want more, then don't allow yourself to entertain and give a free pass to the man who's showing you these signs on this list or who is saying to you, I don't want a relationship, I don't want a girlfriend, because that is a setup for disaster every single time. Hey, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to check this one out right here, and I'll see you there. Listen, you deserve a man who loves you, respects you, and cherishes you. Do not settle for less. So please understand, if he does any of the things I'm going to mention in this video, it is time to let him go.